All right, all right, all right. What is up, everybody? We're back, baby. Gonna be playing some more Street Fighter 6 tonight. Some more Sagat. I want to say Road to High Master, but it's more like Road trying to get back to just 1400 MR, 1500 MR. Road to break even before we advance. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're learning. I'm just getting back into it. Still adjusting my gameplay. Learning every night we play. But I came across a video earlier today from Brian F. And I did want to watch it and kind of give my take on it. There's some things I agree with what he's talking about. Some of the things I don't agree with. So I want to jump into that a little bit. Because I think some of the stuff he talks about is where the modern FGC goes wrong. So we have that here. Let me pop that up. And then so it says ruminations on the Street Fighter 6 DLC Discourse is the video. It's on his channel, more Brian F. Go watch it. Give it a like if you want, but I'm gonna watch and discuss here. Let me pause this music real quick.
Brian said something nuanced. The comments will call him a shill anyways. Right, like when I put out a tweet about the DLC announcement, and I mentioned that I think Tifa will probably end up breaking the 100k player count barrier, and that I'm excited for that they're finally adding new characters, which is all true. But that's not the same thing as saying I'm happy that they added Tifa in order to increase the player count higher. That's just me remarking on what will probably happen as a prediction, and also a commentary on the aspirations of Capcom. Because, you know, there's always a subset of people like, oh, how much is Capcom paying you? The irrelevant content creator from the audience that we do not care about. I just don't understand where people's brains are. I mean, if that was true, we'd be having a lot more glorp shittos in the game. Like, I am genuinely happy about having new characters added to the game. I don't like the format of the teaser. In general, my philosophy is always
Brian the F.
need to keep creating. You cannot rely on nostalgia. Nostalgia is a death spiral and the death of culture. And I think, unfortunately,
This is a sentiment that he establishes early. Nostalgia is the death of culture, and that is completely, absolutely wrong. But it's kind of the basis of like his point of view. But yeah, I'll let him go further and kind of talk some more, but I'll elaborate on why.
Of our cultural products globally have become this downward death spiral of nostalgia slop and reference slop and crossover slop, and I think that's definitely a huge problem because we're not creating new things, and that's what happens once you reach a certain state of growth within any industry, because now the investment is too high, the stakes are too high, and you can no longer afford to take risk because risk involves the chance of failure, and failure is no longer acceptable when you have millions and millions and millions of dollars at stake, people's jobs and livelihoods. And at that point, you reach cultural stagnation. And we've seen that with things like the movie industry. We've seen the last time people were going to the movies, I mean, COVID was a big part of that, but it was Marvel Endgame, which was the pinnacle of crossover world building, not even world building, but cinematic universe building and character crossover, right? And so the lesson everyone took away from that was, oh, keep building up a cinematic universe and have constant IP crossover and keep referencing the same characters across multiple mediums, and that was the wrong lesson. That was the end of it. That should have been the end, and Marvel fell off like fucking crazy because no one can give a shit anymore. And we're finally seeing with these massive, insane blockbusters that are relying purely on name recognition and nostalgia, that they're done with it. You see with Obsession, 750k budget, making like what, 500 fucking million, and you see it with Backrooms breaking records as well with a much smaller budget. And then the latest Star Wars movie, which is, you know, that franchise has been milked to fucking death after being sold to Disney. No one gives a shit anymore. And going on this spiral death loop of constantly referencing old nostalgia is by far the biggest death trap. With that said, I like when Street Fighter keeps putting in new characters because of that. That to me is incredibly important to push the franchise forward. Would I have preferred having some fan favorite characters in there in the franchise as well? Of course. I think in terms of priority to me, I feel like you need a mix of legacy and new characters to take creative risk and try to actually create something new and see if you can push culture forward and achieve new great heights. And then the lowest tier is crossovers. I think crossovers are the lowest tier of it's just creatively bankrupt in my opinion. And there's a time and place for it, for references and for making a love letter to a fandom or a character or whatever. There's a time and place for it, but it cannot be the primary source. So I don't mind Tifa being in the game, for example, but that's the limit to me. We already have 3 crossover characters. Like, if they keep going down that path, that to me cheapens the name of Street Fighter, because it's no longer a product pushing culture forward and trying to create new memorable characters for people to connect with. It's relying personally on the creation of other things in the past. It becomes less of itself and more of a product of other cultures. So Tifa to me is fine. People will be happy about it. I don't personally care. But what I want...
Yes, that sentiment there, like, I don't agree with that at all. I don't think you need to be creating these new characters to push anything forward. And a great example of that was that there was a point in time where Capcom actually had that mindset. And it was when they created Street Fighter 3. And they were trying to be as creative as possible. They were doing brand new sprite work on a brand new hardware. They were going to show off this brand new animation and artwork that they were doing that no one else was doing at the time. It's going to be completely, quote unquote, fresh take on Street Fighter. But also to the tune that they were actually going to just not even have Ryu and Ken. They were going to have none of the original cast, all brand new characters. Alex was going to be the protagonist of the game. And immediately, the entire existing fan base was like, hell no. And it basically destroyed Street Fighter, actually. They made a decision at the last second to include Ryu and Ken, and eventually started adding more characters like Akuma and Chun-Li to get some of the more legacy characters in the game. But had they not, I can't even imagine how dead Street Fighter 3 would have been if Ryu and Ken weren't in there, because it was already incredibly dead. It nearly destroyed Capcom, actually. Nearly destroyed Street Fighter. Like, that was a big reason that we didn't see Street Fighter for a very long time. It was a miracle we got Street Fighter 4. But Street Fighter 3 nearly destroyed the entire franchise because they made the horrible decision of not honoring the legacy characters. And I think people get this idea that, like, well, you can't just keep on having the same characters. Yes, you can. What are you talking about? Yes, you can. If you release a Street Fighter game without Ryu and Ken, people will be like, what the fuck? Are you out of your mind? Where are Ryu and Ken? Where's Chun-Li? You can't have, like, a Street Fighter game without those characters. And the way you can push things forward is that Street Fighter 6 already does a great job of this. You have your legacy characters, and you have their, their existing stories and movesets and concepts and everything. But you build upon them. And you see these characters evolve as you go into the future. And that's been one of the coolest parts of Street Fighter 6, is getting to see how different the characters we already know and love, but also see them slightly different in terms of, like, gameplay. Like, everyone loves Sagat in this game, right? But why is that? Everyone's already loves Sagat. He's always been a cool character, but he plays in a way that he's never played before, and he feels more like a Muay Thai fighter than he's ever felt. His animations are more like a Muay Thai fighter than ever, and he feels incredible, and everyone loves him. He's great. That's, like, a great way to push things forward. You don't need 3 brand new characters in a season pass that nobody cares about. That's a horrible way to do that. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible way to do that. And beyond that, he talks about, like, well, crossovers are creatively bankrupt. What's funny about that is that, as I just said, Street Fighter 3 nearly destroyed the Street Fighter franchise. What saved, like, fighting games and kept, like, the fighting game community alive and the whole scene alive was Marvel 2. It was the Versus series that kept everything going. That was the most popular fighting game for Capcom. And the second most popular was, guess what? CVS 2. So these crossover games were what kept everything going. Do you know why crossover games kept everything going? Because crossover games are sick, dude. Everybody loves to see Terry and, Ken fight. Everybody wants to see Kyo and Ryu fight. It's dope. It's awesome. Dude, you get to see Ryu and Wolverine, Ryu and Cyclops go head to head. Dude, that's duh. Like, I remember the first time I walked into a movie theater and I saw a cabinet for X-Men versus Street Fighter, and it blew my mind. That was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. But again, even in those games, they changed the characters we knew, right? Like, for the first time ever, Ryu had some giant beam super. It was like a Kamehameha. It wasn't just like this little fireball that he always had in other games. He doesn't have that in Street Fighter, but he gets it in the Versus games. So it's a cool rendition and a cool take of Ryu, you know? Same with Ken. His different supers and all the way he plays. Chun-Li gets a giant like fireball super. We get to see these cool animations and sprites and artwork for them. Like, Versus crossover games what kept things alive. Like, crossovers are not a bad thing at all. They're not more creatively bankrupt. As a matter of fact, the creativity to take a character like Tifa and take all the aspects of her from another game and another world and another universe and make her work within the Street Fighter universe is incredibly creative. And Street Fighter 6, I think the devs have done a great job of that. They've taken these characters like Mai, Terry, they've even taken the existing Street Fighter characters and revamped them in ways that are really cool. Everyone really likes it. It's like the coolest thing we've seen for a lot of these characters. So seeing like that's one going to be the coolest creative aspect of Tifa is how is she going to play? We want to see her animations. We want to see the references to Final Fantasy. And they mentioned she's going to have her materia system as part of her gameplay. So, like, how are they going to incorporate that? Sounds really cool. How are they going to incorporate her limit breaks, you know? Stuff like that. So to say like that takes no creativity or like creatively bankrupt, if it's just like a cheap money grab and not done well, then sure. But this isn't that. And the crossover doesn't have to be that. I mean, the Marvel series, again, I think that's some of the most creative and awesome interpretations of those characters ever. To take those characters from comic books that have never been in a fighting game and create X-Men Children of the Atom, you know, for Capcom to take that risk at the first X-Men Children of the Atom game, to take those risks of creating these characters as Marvel superheroes, and then from then on the Versus series, you know, Marvel 2, Marvel 1, Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. It was reimagining the Capcom characters and the Marvel characters within those games was like the sprite work and artwork for those games is unreal. Those games look incredible. To this day, I still think those are the best looking sprites ever. People say Third Strike, I don't agree. Not at all. Versus series has the best sprite work ever. those sprites are incredible. Iron Man, Wolverine, Hulk, Magneto, all those characters. And they play and act in a way that you like what you would imagine and hope that they would play. You don't have a character like Colossus isn't like, oh, he's just like plays lame. He doesn't feel like an actual Colossus character, like how Colossus should be. No, he plays just like Colossus. Like he feels like Colossus. It's amazing what they pulled off. So, yeah, a lot of his point here just wrong, just absolutely incorrect.
It's more crossover characters. What I want this to be. Oh, now Street Fighter is a platform like Smash Brothers, and it's going to be a place for gaming characters to fight. I would not like that. There can be a platform for that. I just hope it wouldn't be Street Fighter. My issue with the DLC characters is how they do the teaser. They leave them out to dry. Putting the brand new characters out with this animated teaser character animation without them being in-game engine, without them showing off any of their combat, any of their voice lines, anything, it gives nothing for people to latch onto to have an open mind about it. So I think it's kind of a poor.
I do agree with that. But beyond that, I mean, this character just suck, dude. There's nobody cares about this. You know what's a great way to get people to latch onto something or to hold on to? 30 fucking years of experience with a character. It's like, just put a character that we know and love, man, and with a cool interpretation in Street Fighter 6. That's all we need. Don't give us this crap that we don't want. That's a bad direction. Like, that's just having new things for the sake of having new things isn't good. And to say like that's pushing things forward, no, it's not. That could be a big step back in many ways, just like Street Fighter 3 was a step back, you know? That was a massive step back. It took a very long time for people to warm up to Third Strike. Very, very long time.
Teaser format for these characters. Everyone thought Arjun was Ryu. I thought Arjun was Ryu as well. I said that as well. And then even from the animated...
Yeah, Arjun looks like a Ryu knockoff. It's horrible. It's really bad. But again, I don't mind this as much, so long as my theory's right. And these are all just like a misdirection. Capcom is trying to bamboozle us and make us think that there's going to be 3 new characters when there's not. They're actually going to have some legacy characters. But if they actually go through with this, bad call by Capcom.
Intro compared to his DLC photograph in the promo, completely fucking different. He looked like buff Ryu, rugged Ryu, and then you see the actual artwork that they put him in, and the dude looks goofy as fuck in a good way. He's the character I'm most interested in because you finally see him like, oh shit, this dude is what's going on? He's inhaling 40 gallons of air right there. Is he about to air dash around? He's about to explode. To me, he's by far the most interesting. So you don't give anything for people to latch onto when you do this format is the problem, I think.
He looks like a Win version of Dalsum. I have no idea what that character's supposed to be.
Goofy equals interesting. It's something to me. Like, I always favor more cartoony, less photorealistic characterization. But for example, I liked Abigail, even on release. My opinions are not always that popular. When Abigail was announced at EVO 2017, oh my god, you would have thought Capcom came out and shot everyone's dog person.
In case you guys have never seen that reaction, this is what happened when Abigail got announced for Street Fighter V.
Brian said something nuanced.
Abigail, Street Fighter V announcements. Is this the one? Might be the one.
This character looks weird. What? This character's huge. What? Breaks armor? I mean, break guard? Whoa. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah.
This is a different reaction video, but there was a... Here we go, reaction. Where was it?
Jack. Abigail. Abigail. No one wanted you. Damn, it's huge.
So this it was closer up, so it sounded louder, but if you get like the further back here with the whole arena, there was some reaction, but it was pretty flat. Like, this was not like an uproar at all. Look at these fun new characters no one asked for. Exactly.
Where's the super? Jack.
How about up again?
Yeah, it wasn't like everyone went nuts for that, you know? It was like no one really cared. Granted, Street Fighter 5 wasn't the most popular, but still, like for an Evo reveal, it was whatever. And Brian even said earlier in the video, like, if you're gonna do something, like the best way to do it is like, you know, have a good mix of legacy characters and new characters. I'm fine with that. If you would have announced one new character with like 2 other legacy characters plus the plus Tifa for a crossover, perfect. But 3 new characters that no one wants or cares for, like, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not against new characters either. Like, I played Marissa. Marissa's brand new, you know. She's cool. Her playstyle's cool. She's a cool brawler. But here's my thing with new characters too. They better be like brand new. Like Marissa's brand new. She's not replacing anybody, you know. But don't give me crap like Lily or Kimberly that just replace characters that we already like. Don't do that. That's stupid. Don't replace T-Hawk. Don't replace Guy. That's dumb. That's a horrible way to do characters. It's cheap and it's lazy. It's like, if you're going to do a new character, make them brand new.
Personally.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, he showed it too.
Oh my god, it was so funny. It was so funny. I was there in person when Abigail was released, and that was just a bad timing for Abigail because Street Fighter V had such a horrific launch, and it was really needing to build some momentum and goodwill and get some wind under its sails to carry forward.
It was a bad time.
At the biggest event of the year, back when they still did character announcements at EVO and integrated with the community and interacted in that sense, they put out the goofy big body character at EVO. Horrible time. Comes out. But he didn't take off. He released towards the end of season 2, and so he wasn't really taken off competitively till season 3, and he got buffed into season 3. So he was broken as hell in 3.0, and then still pretty broken in 3.5. And then after that, they're like, okay, we got to cut this guy's legs off. But my point being, I like a lot of the OG Street Fighter V characters. I like Abigail. I know a lot of people don't. I like G a lot. I like Minaj.
See, but Abigail's not even original. He's a Final Fight character put in the game, you know? Which is cool. Like, you have existing... We already have existing Capcom characters in your universe that we want to see. Like, we want to see Rival Schools characters. Or you could put a Final Fight character in there. That's cool, you know? I'm not against that. Because those are cool. Those are cool characters you've already made in your other franchises that would fit well into Street Fighter. But nobody wants this new crap.
I like Zeku. They had a lot of really strong original characters. But what makes them interesting is strong characterization and their gameplay. And the problem with these DLC characters is I feel like they're not given strong characterization in the animated intro. Here they have a lot more personality in this key art, right? Arjun, clearly there's something going on with him. And his animated intro, or the animated teaser, I didn't really feel anything about him. Yasmin, I guess, is Filipina. That's tying into, you know, national representation. So you have some kind of connection there. And then Bosch, I don't know. I don't. Bosch is the character I'm least interested in, to be quite honest. But apparently people like him in Japan. He has fans from World Tour. But what could help is gameplay. Show us what they do. Like, they just don't give you anything to go off of from that teaser. And
I mean, that's not really a criticism, because they're obviously saving stuff for EVO. So they got to save gameplay for an EVO announcement. But I'm also hoping, guys, still, fingers crossed, that they're also not showing anything because it's not real. Fingers crossed. If you want Bosch to be real, that's fine, but don't do Yasmin and Arjun. Don't do it.
also, of course, everyone's pissed about not having their fan favorites in. It's not a very balanced release of the characters. Tifa's obviously meant to carry the pass, but that's more for external fans of the Street Fighter franchise, because they could have done 2 new characters, Tifa and an OG, and just put another new character in a different season pass. But people are going to be pissed off no matter what. Someone is going to be very unhappy, so I also feel that way. You're never gonna please everybody. Like,
See, I always hate that cop out of like, well, you're not gonna please everybody. It's like, I don't know, man. You can please quite a few damn people. You know, and a game that did that really well was Dragon Ball Fighters. Like a lot of the characters they released were characters people wanted. They did a pretty damn good job with their character releases. And nobody was like, oh, I'm like really disappointed, like we're getting this. I was like, nope, everyone's pretty happy. I don't remember anybody being like, oh, this announcement sucks, you know? Nobody's gonna I haven't heard of one single person be like, I'm really excited for this new Street Fighter season pass. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. The only reason they say that is Tifa. Not the entire pass. They just say it about Tifa. Whereas like Dragon Ball Fighters was dropping bangers. Everyone was like, dude, like we're looking forward to everything they're releasing, you know? So no, you can absolutely please the majority of people. And honestly, Street Fighter 6 has already pretty much done that. They've done a great job with their character releases. So yeah, I don't agree.
everyone's saying that, but that's just the teaser format. If they show when they show the trailers of the character, people might be interested in the character. The characters, Capcom has shown that they put a lot of attention to the flair of characters in this game. They often provide extra taunts and weird Easter eggs. Like they're doing a lot of things that have a lot of flair for more casual fans. And yeah, maybe the characters won't be a hit, but you have to take that risk. Like Lucia and Falk, I think were stinkers for Street Fighter V. But I would love G to come back. I think G is one of the sickest characters that have been in Street Fighter in a long time. His gameplay was saucy as all hell, and he's just a funny fucking character. Minot was sick, and as a fan favorite with her design. Zeku was cool. There was a lot of hits, man, and every character you've ever liked in the Street Fighter franchise was a brand new character, was Glorp Shido to somebody else previously. Street Fighter 3 was entirely made of characters that no one fucking liked, and it bombed at first because of that. But now they're fan favorites, and everyone's clamoring for Dudley and Ibuki to be put into...
No. No. A lot of those characters are not fan favorites, and nobody cares about them. Only some like hipster wannabe cool nerd is like, oh, I want 12 or I want Necro. Nobody cares about fucking Necro or Remy or bullshit. Like, who's gonna take a Remy over Guile? Get the hell out of here. Kick rocks. Like, yeah, right. Dudley's cool, but Dudley was a different take on a boxer. Like, he played more like, you know, he had like Shoto inputs and stuff like that. So it was cool to play him. Like, if you want a boxer that doesn't play like a charge character, he's a cool option, you know. Makoto was more original. There were cool original Third Strike characters, don't get me wrong, but not all those characters are beloved. Like, and all these people are talking, oh, I love Alex so much. It's like, and then Alex comes out and he's barely played in Street Fighter 6. I remember Alex Valle talking about that. It's like an old I was like watching a Wednesday night fight stream years ago, back in like the mid 2010s. And they were talking about Alex or something, how they wanted. I think it was like the next season of Street Fighter 4 and how they were hoping Alex makes it in. He was like, "All you guys talking about you love Alex." He's like, "Nobody fucking played Alex in Street Fighter 3." He's like, "Where are you? Where were you guys?" He's like, "How come where'd you guys all come from all of a sudden?" It's like, yeah, like people talk about this, but does it really happen? I don't know. What's up, Samiru? Pretend to like those obscure characters that all look the same. Yeah.
Street Fighter 6. They're desperate for it. Kodo.
G did look cool though. I didn't play a lot of 5. G did look cool. Zeku looked cool, but G was kind of like took inspiration from Q already. And I think Q looks like a pretty cool character. Like, you want some weird, like just kind of weird, strange dude character. Like, he would be a cool character to add. But G did look interesting in terms of his gameplay and stuff like that. He was pretty cool. Zeku was like, he's a new character, but he's taking inspiration from Strider and from Guy, so he's not like completely original, you know. Same with Minot. She was taking inspiration from Rose. Cool what they did with them, but they're not like completely original, you know.
As well. Remy be coming back anytime soon, or Necro? No.
Yeah, exactly, because they suck.
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I'll be eating my words next season pass. But my point being, with the new DLC characters, do I feel any particular way about them? Arjun is the one character that has anything intriguing going on because they're giving me something to work with. Okay, he's a big dude from India. He's not blowing fire like Dalsum, but he's blowing air. He's cartoonishly filling his lungs with air to make something happen. There's something unique about him going on. Yasmin and Bosch don't give me nothing to work with, really, until I see them in action and get more out of them. Bosch is the one I'm least interested in because he's had his shot and didn't really make an impact to me. But either way, my point being, you can't really judge them until you see them in a match. Last DLC character of the game is going to be John World Tour. John World Tour is actually going to be the true iteration of Seth, where they just have every fucking character's move. It's going to be the pinnacle of those World Tour abominations that are doing endless combos, but a real character. That would be kind of hype, to be honest. It'd be like in Pokemon Gold and Silver when you fight Trainer Red at the top of the mountain. John World Tour ... Bum 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 bum. God.
John World Tour.
We're back with Extra Trashy and the...
Yeah, so that's just my take on all that. I'm not going to sit here and support.
Anyways. Right, like...
What the hell? Why are we talking? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, like... Get some music back on. These brand new characters are something good and pushing things forward. And, like, I don't agree in this whole premise that, like, nostalgia just kills things. It's like, no. People take inspiration from stories from thousands of years ago, you know? Final Fantasy VII had an attack called Knights of Round, which was based on King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Myth lives on forever, because myth never changes. The principles of mythology are constantly the same, you know? The hero's journey doesn't change. And what's funny is, like, when people try to deviate from these things, because he talked about that too, like, well, Hollywood's not doing well, because look at, like, they just try to play out all these things that they just played it out to death, like Star Wars. It's like, it's not that Star Wars is played to death, it's that they did a shitty job with Star Wars. If you released a Darth Maul Origins movie, I would go watch that. And you did it well, so many people would go watch that. Are you out of your minds? Like, we would all go watch that, you know? But they just released this slop and garbage. It's like, yeah, it's just crappily, poorly done. But if they did it really well, dude, absolutely that would sell. Why? Because Star Wars is sick, and you can just build on it. You don't have to make something brand new. You don't have to make this whole new universe. Like, no, Star Wars is cool. So, that was my take on that. But let's jump into some Street Fighter 6. Actually, no, hold on. There was one more video I did want to watch. Take that back. Take that back. Take that back. Excuse me. There was an interview with Max that he did with the Street Fighter 6 devs. I do want to see what they had to say. Only characters you want? Street Fighter 1 characters? Street Fighter 1 characters would be cool.
Very first biggest piece of news, and that is
because that would be like super reimagined.
In Street Fighter 6, right? There's 3 brand new characters in Street Fighter 6. Technically, Bosch is now an actual playable character, or will be a playable character. Yasmin, who is the first available character, is going to be not too far off. She's like very early August, right? So she'll be not too far off.
That's pretty quick.
I wouldn't even be surprised if we're going to be seeing gameplay of her in some form, some fashion. However, the weird thing of the trailer, much less the reveal for Street Fighter 6, has sort of been the unknown mystery of where this game is going and what is happening, because it seems that initial inspection, there is no brand new stage and there is no brand new content related to story mode. We thought that there might have been a replacement for that things. Maybe this is where Super Street Fighter 6 happens. Maybe this is like a different way to engage single player content in some way. And at the moment, that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like they are adding more characters to the game and more things are being added at the moment. This is from our perspective. The amount of historical stuff that they're adding outside of like costumes maybe is gonna just eventually and most likely be how they continue Street Fighter 6 from this point forward. Like, just maybe. That's all we know. So, that being said, I got an opportunity to talk to Matsumoto-san and Nakayama-san, who are the resident big heads at Capcom. These are the guys responsible for the Capcom fighting game collections. These are the guys responsible literally for Street Fighter 6. I got like a solid 30-minute opportunity to sit down with them and grill them a little bit about some of the ways this game is going. One of the big first questions I had when I was discussing this with them, as I'm recalling this in my head, was Tifa. And my question to them was that Tifa is a character amongst Final Fantasy VII characters that historically does not really show up in many things. Like, these characters are pretty difficult to get into other games. So I asked them, how challenging has it been to work with the Square Enix development side or Nomura-san on making one of his characters fully come to life in a fighting game? Believe it or not, they said that the process, which has been in the works for quite some time, has been extremely has not had any ounce of like pushback. There's notes and things like that, but it isn't like it has been really difficult. It seems like in the past it might have been difficult to work with Square Enix, but they were
Yeah, that's another point of like kind of what I was talking about with Brian F's video. Saying like, oh, crossovers are like the least creative thing, and like it's just kind of, it can be slop, yes. Like you can go the Fortnite route, which I mean, say what you want about it, it still sells like hotcakes with kids, you know. But it can be, like I said, it's not so much what you do, it's how you do it, right? It can be done tastefully and well, or it can just be mass-produced garbage. But the Street Fighter 6 team has not just done mass-produced garbage. They've done a very good job with everything they brought into the game. But beyond that, this is a crossover that people have been hoping would happen for like 30 years. And it hasn't, because Square Enix was like very, very tight on their characters. They never shared much. Like, you didn't see crossover characters. It was amazing that Kingdom Hearts even happened. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, seeing Final Fantasy characters outside of Final Fantasy was incredibly rare. That's a big reason like we haven't seen them in other things. And this, for the first time in 30 years, you're going to see a Street Fighter or a Final Fantasy character in a Street Fighter. It's like, dude, absolutely. This is a huge ordeal. Like, this is a huge ordeal. This is like, it's hard to actually overstate how big that is. The fact that Square Enix is willing to do it, and that lately Square Enix not just Square Enix, but you know, a lot of these companies like SNK and Capcom had a falling out, and they weren't working together anymore after CVS2, which sucked. So, but it took decades. It took a long time for us to even have the thought or imagine a possibility of CVS3, you know? And same for Marvel 2. You know, Capcom lost licensing for the Marvel characters, and we weren't sure when Marvel 2 would happen, if it would ever happen. So these aren't just like small. These are very big deals. These aren't like little small ordeals that are taking place here. This is a massive deal. So yeah, that crossover happening is, it's like it's like monumental in the gaming industry.
Surprised by how quickly they responded to stuff, how quickly they approved things, and how like they were very enthusiastic and able to like move forward, which is why this all happened. You know, historically,
and it's cool to see all these companies willing to work together again, or for the first time ever, really.
Perspective between Square Enix and other devs who might want to use their characters and stuff, especially from like a Smash Brothers perspective. Apparently not. According to the Street Fighter devs, they're like, this was extremely smooth. And yeah, Tifa being in the game, they just want to do like proper honor to the character, and they want to make sure that she's represented in a way that'll make everybody happy, including Final Fantasy fans and everything like that. They know it's a really big deal. I gave them the commendation that they pulled off a guest character in a fighting game, the likes of which we really haven't seen since like Link in Soul Calibur 2, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's massive. It's that big.
Deal, don't get me wrong. But like a crazy crossover, the likes of which we have not seen before, like Cloud in Smash, Link in Soul Calibur, it was like, whoa.
And that was a huge selling point for Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur 2 sold so well on GameCube because of that. That was huge. That was absolutely massive. And then they had like Yoda in the other one, and who else? What was the PS2 one? Who did they get? Oh, who did they get? Soul Calibur 2 guest characters, yeah. Oh, that's right, they had Heihachi, yeah. That was cool. Oh, Xbox got Spawn, that's right. Which one of them had Yoda? There was Yoda in one of them or something like that. I thought it was Yoda in one of them. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Yeah, Spawn. But GameCube